Hello and welcome to Hunter Fuel, a supernatural rewatch podcast for adults who enjoy their show with a chaser. I'm Liz.
And I'm Lynn.
Thank you so much for joining us on what is a dark and stormy night here at Hunter Fuel. So, fingers crossed, we will not have any real life electronics flickers. But we are watching the premiere of season 3. That is right. We are on episode 1, The Magnificent Seven. We model responsible drunkenness here. All participants are way over 21. No one is pregnant. No one will be driving, handling weapons, operating heavy machinery, or beating anybody to death over a pair of shoes. If you're playing along with us, those are the rules. If you decide not to follow them and you do something stupid, don't blame us. Lynn, what are you drinking this evening?
Now, believe it or not, this is a glass of white wine.
Oh, well, I don't know that we can call it white wine.
It is a Chardonnay.
It is a Chardonnay, but, unless my eyes deceive me, it's not
Nope,
white.
it's blue. It is a
It
blue Chardonnay, and I know you'll be
okay.
so shocked. It is one of my Star Trek ones.
Okay, there we go. So, all right, I'm gonna give you get a bonus cocktail this episode. Lynn, before I tell you what the cocktails are, do you wanna take a guess as to the theme?
If I get this wrong, I'm going to be really disappointed in cocktail world.
Okay.
If it doesn't have something to do with the seven deadly sins, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, the theme is it's a little on the nose this week, and I will say I was tempted to just go with a Seven Deadly Sins Old Vine Zinfandel and call it a night, but I didn't. So okay, your first cocktail, your bonus cocktail is called the Seven Deadly Sins, and it is 1/2 ounce each of vodka, gin, tequila, light rum, dark rum, dry vermouth, sweet vermouth, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and 2 tablespoons of grenadine. And shake actually, you don't shake it, you stir that with ice in a Tom Collins glass and top it with cola and serve. Now, if you've been watching us from the beginning, I have always been very transparent that I am an extreme lightweight when it comes to alcohol. And if you've seen all our episodes, you have watched me get red in the face more than once. Overindulging, so I took one look at that and I said, "There is no fucking way I drink that and remain vertical for this
Or be
episode."
able to say a clear sentence for all.
No, no, all of that would be off the table if I drank that. So if you have a heartier constitution and a stronger liver than I have, you are welcome to make that one for yourself. I, however, I skipped the deadly and I went just for the 7 sins. So they're the 7 mildly grouchy sins, not deadly. It is 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of grenadine, 1 ounce of rye whiskey, and 1 ounce of applejack. You shake all that up with ice, strain, and serve, and you can sprinkle a little ground cinnamon on the top of that if you like for a garnish. Producer Mark, could you bring up our Supernatural game cards for us, please? So, Lynn and I talked, and we agreed that we were still making it a little too challenging. So, we made a couple of changes to the cards for season 3. So, now to forestall any debates over whether a person is knocked out or passed out, we're just saying now if somebody is unconscious, we get a square. We also, it breaks my heart, but we have removed moose or squirrel references, and those are just now rolled up under excuse me, a joke about Sam's height. Summoning ritual is now just summoning. Pour a salt line is now just a salt line, so we don't need to actually witness a person pour it. If a salt line be on camera, then we get a square. And then the last one is Sam gets conked on on the head. We have changed to someone gets conked on the head. We are equal opportunity here. I can pretty much guarantee you it will almost always be Sam. On the rare occasion it is not Sam who gets conked on the head,
I
we
say Dean
still get a
does get
square.
conked on the head once at times.
Less frequently than Sam, but yes, he does on occasion take a shot in the face.
Mhm.
Okay, so now let's with those changes in mind, let's take a look at our cards here, and I don't know.
I
I
I don't know. I know we made the changes to make it easier, but I don't think it's not gonna get insanely easier. Um,
no, no, well, it was never supposed to be easy, but,
no.
yeah, I don't have a great feeling about this, but as always, the first one is on the house. So, cheers.
Yes,
It is a very pretty color.
it really is. That would make a great nail polish.
Thank you. I thank you. I have to find lots of reasons to well, it's not bad. It's not bad. We're getting off to a good start, I think, with cocktails for the season. Well, we'll have to see how we do here. Okay,
Mm.
if you are going to play along with us, as always, pardon me, there is a link in the link tree to generate a card of your very own. Well, with that, let's get this show on the road. So we have a road so far, and it is a really nice montage of season two. We've got, a lot of some nice violent monster deaths. So if you had never seen the show before, if this was, your recap as you're just sitting down to watch Supernatural for the first time, you would think that this show, has a lot of action to it. You'd also be forgiven for thinking that the boys have a lot of sex because they pulled clips from every single occasion, all 2 of them.
I was gonna say, I'm like, yeah, they do not get laid. It does not give us the approach. At least we're always like, come on, give us something. And this,
No, no, you would think that these guys get busy all the time.
yeah,
They found every clip they possibly could. And then finally, after this long montage that's really just kind of a billboard for the show, we finally
yeah,
get to the plot where we see Sam get stabbed in the back. And Dean
literally.
makes I'm sorry, yeah, literally. Dean makes the demon deal to resurrect his brother. And it's all set to AC/DC's Hell's Bells, which is just a fantastic choice for this. And it's left with this question hanging, are you 100% certain that what you brought back is Sam? And ends on this final shot of this
Oh,
horde of demons pouring out of the Devil's Gate. Um, Escaping to Hell. Cut to now, and we are in Oak Park, Illinois.
I actually know
And I
exactly where that is.
I do as well. I do as well. And it doesn't look like this, but I do as well. And we've got
No.
this great little the shot of this really shiny Porsche coming across the lawn, and you can see right away that the color scheme is completely different for season three. Like it's not desaturated anymore. We've got these really bright flowers in the flower bed. And here comes this gentleman out. He's eyeing this shiny Porsche in his neighbor's yard, very, very enviously, as he's got kind of a dusty, scratched up Toyota in his own yard. And he's wearing like a plaid short sleeve button down. He's looking a little schleppy. And all of a sudden the trash cans start to rattle like, "Ah, crap, he's got a raccoon." Except this is supernatural.
Yeah, I was gonna say it that this is the time when no, you do not go and investigate because nothing good can come out of that.
No, this is gonna go badly. We do have an electronics flicker, which we will pause in a moment to look for. Like, all the electronics are flickering.
Yeah.
And here comes this black cloud with the purple lightning,
Mm.
and dumbass here is
That's
staring at it like, "Huh, I wonder what
huh.
this is." And
Yeah.
deep Go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing. I'm just every time I watch this scene, I'm like, you are such a dipshit.
You're dipshit. And so poor guy, the demons start to separate from the cloud and it possesses this guy. We're going to learn his name is Walter. And he opens his eyes and he's got the black eyes. So we know that he is possessed now. And his whole demeanor changes as
Mm.
he stands up and you can see all these individual demons start heading for Chicago. And you're like, "Oh, this is
Just
gonna be bad." We've got a brand new title card for season 3, which we're gonna pause on here, and it's got a quick
that's too
flash of the Solomon's Key, the Devil's Trap that Bobby taught us about at the end of season 1. And then again, that black cloud with the purple smoke. So that is gonna be our title card for this season. Okay, so we are looking for an electronics flicker. Let's see if either one of us has one of those.
I
I
feel like I did.
No, no, we are not we are not fast off the
Yes, I
line
did.
here. Oh, you
I had
did.
it.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Congratulations. Well, I'm going to have a West Coast to celebrate with you. Our
Excellent.
very first square of season 3, we have an electronics flicker. And Lynn is on the board.
Off to the
Okay.
races. No pun intended.
All right. Before we get going again, the actor who plays Ralton, this is going well. Walter, the actor's name is Josh Doherty and or Doherty, depending on your where you're from. And he was in Mr. Mercedes. So, all right. We're gonna hit play here.
I just want to say one thing real quick. At least when this guy um got taken over by the demon, thanks to what you said in the season finale last time, now every time I keep looking at their mouth to see if they're gonna do that. Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, 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 nom.
And I was very happy he did not.
No, no, for some reason, Frederick Lane is the only one. So, okay, I lied before. Now we're hitting play. So we are 1 week later, and we've got Sam sitting in the car, and he is researching demon deals. So we've got this extreme close up here, which tells us right away we are looking at a Kim Manners episode. Dean is in the bedroom. He closes the drapes, and here comes this young lady. He pulls her top off over her head. I
But you
think
know,
this is
I
kind
mean,
of a
those curtains were useless.
they're
I mean,
useless. Yeah, clearly this young lady is not concerned about privacy. We've got a great shot, I think, around Bobby's Chevelle to Jim Beaver back as Bobby. Dean does this kind of funny like boxing thing before he tosses himself on top of young lady here. And We've got this fun line from Sam where Bobby asks him where his brother is, and he says, polling the electorate, which is a good line. He tells Sam, "We've got something we need to get on. Go get your brother. Tell your brother to zip it up. Let's go." And he goes and he's absolutely horrified. And I love this line from Sam. It's fantastic where he looks at Dean and he says, "Let me see your knife."
Knife.
"Why?" "So I
So
can
I
gouge my
got
eyes
my
out."
eyes out. I love that. Sorry, I can't
It's
stop laughing. I just love that. That whole scene just cracks me the hell up.
does, it does. So, I've paused it here because I think okay, so I think we can clear
Oh
I
yes,
am
we
gonna
can
make an
clearly say
I'm gonna
Dean is
make an argument for 2 squares here. I'm gonna
okay.
make an argument for Dean has sex
Uh-huh.
and Dean checks out or hits on a woman.
Well, didn't we once say that if he's had we you used this argument before and I couldn't disagree with you. If he's had sex, he's clearly hit on somebody.
He had to he had to get in there somehow.
So we can't use it once and not use it the second time.
I am on board with that. So let's check and see if either one of us have one of those 2
And I
squares.
do have the Dane checks out or hits on a woman, but I do remember your argument the last time, and clearly he is hitting on a woman, especially with that stupid ass dance move he did. It's like,
With
oh,
his
give
rough.
me a fucking break. What the hell was that thing?
I think it's a like a boxing thing. I don't know. It is kind of silly. All right. So I have Sam or Dean have sex.
I don't
I do
think I
not
have.
have Dean hits on or checks out a woman, sadly. But
Yeah, but at least you got the one that we almost never get a chance to take advantage of.
indeed, indeed, there are not a lot of opportunities for that one. Uh, did you get any, Lynn?
I got the Dean checks out or hits on a woman.
All right. You joining me?
Oh hell yes. You don't have to ask me twice, especially since I got one.
All right. So before we hit play, the song that was playing while Dean was getting busy with the Doublemint twins was Bachman Turner Overdrive's "You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet."
So now, what I find is that okay. Now, would you take that comment as to because we only see him getting busy with one individual, which don't get
Mm,
me wrong, but but are we led to believe that there was a second twin in there and that was
yes,
a three? Okay, three way.
that was Dean having a three-way with a set with twins, Basil.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to make sure I wasn't overthinking that one.
Well, they only needed to cast one.
That is true. That
All
is
right.
true. Now, what I find interesting about
Yes.
this scene is of all the I don't want to say other times because there have not been that many. Like whenever you see like Dean having a moment with a woman and then sort of Sam speeding him up, the vibe coming off of Dean is always much more not that he's ever that mature about it at this point, but it's definitely not he's giving up a very different vibe right now.
Yes, he is. And that is something that we're going to talk more about in just a moment. You are absolutely right. So we're going to hit play here and Dean is kind of busting Sam's chops for Sam not busting his chops. Um and Sam is like, you know, you deserve to have a little fun. So, this is coming right off of um this is a week after the end of season 2. So, Sam knows Dean only has a year to live, and he's given him some latitude. So
For now. For now.
yes, at where we are starting,
Yes.
Sam is giving him some latitude. And they're having this conversation in the car about like, where is this demon war already? Nothing's happening. Cut to just outside Lincoln, Nebraska. They are meeting Bobby. Dean is eating. We'll pause and look for
Yeah.
that on our cards in a moment. And if you've seen the whole series all the way through, this house will probably look familiar to you. So just kind of file this house away and we'll talk about this house again later in the series. But Bobby
I
starts
I love this line where he goes, "You're eating a bacon cheeseburger for breakfast." And he's like, "I got a year to live. I'm not sweating the cholesterol." Has he
not
ever
sweat.
sweat the cholesterol ever with the
So
with what we see him eat?
no, however, I mean, to your point earlier about him having sex, that Dean has always, uh, I think that Dean has always believed that he is not going to die old in his bed surrounded by fat grandchildren. So, he will eat the food, he will drink the booze, he will sleep with the beautiful women. I love how the two of them are moving in sync here. I think that's really cool. Um, as they're in this house and they're kind of casing the house. They know something is going wrong in Lincoln, Nebraska. Uh, excuse me.
Especially
But
based
this
on that
season,
god awful smell that they've walked
oh
into.
yeah, yeah, they're about to discover the source of the eye-watering stench. But so Dean has always been kind of hedonistic, but this season he's got an expiration date. And so, all of that gets way ramped up. They break into this room. There is a family that has died on the couch, and the flies, they are a swarming. It's pretty gross. But they just appear to have sat down and died.
Yeah.
There's no sign, there's no demon sign, there's no sign of violence, there's no sign of foul play. They are watching Dallas.
Yep.
So, um, they have apparently fallen asleep watching Dallas, some kind of Dallas marathon. Um, but uh, they don't know what's going on. Now, I think this is filmed really well. So Dean hears something.
Yep.
He goes to investigate, and here comes another pair of hunters. This is Isaac and Tamara. And they get the drop on Dean. So
Yeah.
he turns around and here comes Isaac, who just honks him in the head with the butt of his gun. So we will look for that one too. Um, although you know what, I'm gonna back that up 10 seconds here. Sorry. Oh, if he doesn't get hit in the head, does he?
No, it's actually his knee, and then
Oh.
he falls over.
He does, never mind. We will not check our cards for that. But I love how this is filmed from Dean's perspective on the ground until he like sticks his hand up into frame and he's like, little help here.
I love this bleeding. Hello.
And I think that's filmed in a really clever way. Um, then you know what also we missed was there was a lockpick back there too.
Yes.
So I am just going to go ahead and pause it. And let's take a
Okay.
look at our cards for Dean Eats and a lockpick, but not
Yeah.
someone gets conked in the head.
So,
Um,
and I'm going to apologize now if you can suddenly hear all the weather behind me, but it suddenly started to pour and thunderstorm behind me. So,
oh, yeah, it is crazy. And of course, I have someone gets conked on the head, but he doesn't. Um,
uh,
yeah, no, I got nothing.
let's see
Oh, no, that's
here.
not true. I have Dean
Oh, wait
eats
a
her
minute.
drinks.
I have pick a lock. That actually gives me 3 in a row.
Oh, off to an early lead. That is fantastic. Yeah,
And
I
then
do
do
not
I
have pick a
have
lock. I just have
Dean eats?
Dean eats her drinks.
I could if I don't get 4 in a row this episode, I'll be shocked.
Mm,
I don't I'm
right.
99.9% positive I'm not gonna get 5.
Okay. Well, we'll have to play through and find out. You're gonna
Alrighty. You gonna join me?
Hills, yeah.
No pun intended.
Indeed. Indeed. Um,
I meant to
okay.
check and I ran out of time prepping as to who the actor who plays the gentleman is because
Yes.
I feel
Oh,
like I
you
reckon.
absolutely do. You absolutely do. That is Peter Mac. I think he pronounces his name Macon. Macon or Macon. I'm afraid I don't know. He's in the Orville. So you
Yeah.
probably recognize his voice more than his face because his he plays a non-human character who with a lot of
Yeah.
facial prosthetics. But you absolutely recognize that actor. All right, we are
Yeah.
hitting play.
Okay.
And so Isaac and Tamara are a married couple, and they are um, on the same case as the boys. Lynn, I see you've paused it. Go ahead.
Not
Nope, that's not
intentionally,
true.
I didn't. I was say not intentionally, I didn't. If I did,
Mm, never mind. We are going to play through. Um, and so Sam starts talking to them, asking them how long they've been married. And he asks this incredibly insensitive question here. He's like, so how'd you two get started? And you can see immediately that the two of them are like, no, we're not talking about this. And I think it's really interesting that Sam asks this question because it's something that Dean and Bobby would never ask because they know people don't become hunters in the supernatural universe because they want to. They become hunters because they have to. That something so traumatic has happened to them that they cannot sleep at night knowing that these things are out there hurting people. And but Sam was a baby. So it's all sort of quote unquote normal to him as much as he knows it's not normal. Um, so it just doesn't occur to him like, oh, other people might have some trauma around this decision to become hunters, despite having grown up with his brother and father who have a trauma he doesn't have because he was too young.
but
So
now
I
I
think
mean,
that's
in Sam's defense, though, he has met some people who, due to the draw of what he and Dean do, have decided to join them and have taken it up out of fascination.
who were you thinking of?
And of course, I can picture her in my head, and she got
Joe?
no. Actually, you know what? We haven't gotten her yet. Um, I think she made. I'm trying to think which season she comes up in. Um,
Well, while you're
because
thinking,
I
we get
don't
an
know.
introduction to Katie Cassidy's character, who will remain unnamed. Um, we're going to come back and talk about Katie Cassidy in a moment. But here comes our demon infested Walter. And his look, his hair, his demeanor, everything is entirely different. And he walks up to this lady in a store, puts his hand on her shoulder, and he's like, "Those are nice shoes." And and of course they're green, so she is
Yeah.
green with envy for the green shoes. But I gotta say, honestly, set deck or props, whoever was responsible. Well, the actor is holding them, so I'm going to assume it's props. Bad, bad props department, bad. Those shoes are not worth beating somebody to death over. They are
No,
not that nice of a pair of shoes.
no, no. In fact, they're
Um,
kind of, I don't want to say ugly, but they're,
they're
I mean, they're,
ugly. They're
oh,
frumpy. They're
yeah,
frumpy shoes. And but uh there's only one pair left, and so this woman that the demon put the whammy on, oh my goodness, and I'm gonna pause it here on the black screen, but, she chases after the woman who bought this last pair of green shoes, beats her to death.
yeah.
Okay, here's a question.
I wonder if it's the
Do
same one
we
I've got.
call I'm sorry?
I think it's the same one I got.
Do we call this a gratuitous blood spatter? Because it's not the it's she leaks a lot of blood.
Yeah, but it clearly like spurts out of her eye.
I I am prepared to call it a blood spatter. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but it's not like we typically see where they just walk into a room and there's blood everywhere. Like,
I mean, to
you
me,
know,
her head is clearly. I mean, we see the head go bash, and then suddenly it's
yeah. I
so.
mean, we
So
don't
like,
get it's not the blood cannon,
no,
right? But I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but I'm prepared to call this a gratuitous blood spatter. We also have while Dean and Sam and Bobby were talking to Isaac and Tamara, we had to get this. So let's take a look here
you.
for get this.
I have.
And I do have gratuitous blood spatter.
I
I do not
always
have
miss
get
the
this.
get this. I
I do not
always
have
miss
get
it.
this.
I have that one, and I don't have the gratuitous blood splatter. But I just remember when I was prepping, I'm like, yep, and there's the gratuitous blood splatter. So
There it is. So, all right, down the hatch.
down the hatch.
Okay, before we hit play, I want to go back just briefly and talk about Katie Cassidy. So, for the first time, there is a third lead actor listed. So, in episode 1 of season 3, there are three lead actors: Jared Padalecki, Jensen Ackles, and Katie Cassidy. Um, that was a That was in response to direction from the studio that they wanted 2 new female characters for season 3 as lead actors. So they cast Katie Cassidy and another actor we will meet in a few episodes. Um, I'm not gonna say a lot about that now. We're gonna talk about that more a little later, but, she is we as of yet, we do not know her character's name, but she is a lead actor, and, um, she is David Cassidy's daughter.
Oh, so David Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
No, no, David Cassidy, not Butch Cassidy, David
Oh, okay,
Cassidy.
sorry.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were outlaws in the
Yeah.
1800s. If you were
Okay, that
born
shows how little, how bad I am at my history. I just knew the.
so, well, in fairness, there have been movies about them more recently than the 1800s, but uh if you were born before 1990, you probably have no idea who David Cassidy is. But if you were attracted to boys in the 70s, you quite likely had a poster of him on your bedroom wall. because He was a star in a very popular musical sitcom back in the 70s called The Partridge Family.
Oh yes.
And I guarantee you had a David Cassidy poster on your wall. Because he was adorable. So she is his offspring. Also going back to Dallas, Jim Beaver appeared in 2 episodes of Dallas, so, there's a
Oh,
little connection there. And then the last thing that I want to mention for right now, um, is that, uh, we're about to hit play, but just before we went to the dark screen, I think there's this great little moment where so the attacker who wants the shoes she like beats this woman against the windshield and then just like drops her to the pavement, picks up the shoes, and walks off kind of calmly with these shoes. And there's this great little moment where the actor has her like hand back against her head, and you can just like see her pinky twitching. And I think it's a great moment just before we go to that black screen. Uh, okay, hitting play. Coming to now we've got the crime scene text photographing, and off camera you hear someone say, "I think you better call Grissom," which is a reference to graveyard shift supervisor Gil Grissom on the show CSI Crime Scene Investigation. Dean hits on another woman here.
so
So
if we didn't already have it, we had it there.
we've got one here. Um, and Sam is start you can see he's starting to make his resting Sam face. Like, uh, what are you doing? Like, we've gotta and of course Dean is laying it on thick. Like, I only
Oh,
have a year to live. I have to make every second count.
oh, and here comes Bobby looking sharp.
In
Damn.
his suit with his hair combed. Uh, this is the first time we see him not in flannel and a trucker cap. And he's looking quite dapper in his suit here. Um, but he's saying he talked to the attacker and there's no sign of demon possession. Unfortunately, he splashed her with holy water off camera, so we don't get to call that a square. Um, but they're still trying to figure out what on earth is going on here. Um, and Dean points out the security camera. So we've got an unusually high quality security camera here, very
Yes.
clear footage that just happens to be centered right on this rack that this woman was shopping at. And they notice this guy come up and put his hand on her shoulder. Here's Katie Cassidy again. If she looks familiar to you, she has been on Arrow, Melrose Place, and Harper's Island. She starts following Sam. And as soon as he realizes he's being tailed, he turns to look, but she manages to like duck behind somebody carrying on a big cardboard box. So she gets away. Meanwhile, Bobby and Dean are at a place called the Old Terminal Pub that, after a day of canvassing, showing this guy's picture around, all the word on the street is that this guy drinks at this pub. Here comes Sam. He scares them by pounding on the window, and then he shoves Dean's seat forward so he can climb into the back seat. I mention it for two reasons. One is because Sam getting into the back seat is going to come up again in a minute. And also because there was kind of a hot debate among fans over whether or not Baby is a two-door or a four-door. And let me assure you that she has always been and will forever be a four-door sedan. But I think part of the reason some fans get confused about her being a two-door is because they mistake Bobby's Chevelle for Baby. And they've got this memory of Sam climbing into the back seat, and that's why they're confused. So they're like, hang on, we've gotta come up with a plan here. But here come Isaac and Tamara, who didn't want to hunt with Sam and Dean before because they work better on their own. And you guys started the apocalypse. And but they're the dumbasses who walk themselves straight into a demon bar. So
Yeah.
Isaac's got a little flask of holy water and he starts to follow our poor possessed Walter to the men's room to see if they can figure out. We've got this Star Wars reference. I love you. I know. Um, Isaac heads for the restroom and he gets stopped by this like big, kind of scary looking guy. Um, and we
Wow.
realize pretty quickly he's got black eyes, so he's a
Yeah.
demon. He says, I don't like hunters in my bar. They turn around. Here comes everybody else. Everybody in the bar is a demon. You're a demon, and you're a demon. Everybody's a
Everybody's
demon.
Yep, and they are trying to get in and realize they can't, and
Yep.
it's like, oh crap.
Yep. Bobby and Dean are trying to break the door down. They're not able. And you can start to get a sense of these demons' personalities. It's kind of fun. And here comes this guy. He hands Isaac a big bottle of Drano and says, "Here, have a drink on me." Um, and this is green jello mixed with Gatorade. And you can see like Isaac just starts chugging this. And apparently they needed to do two takes, so he had to drink all this twice.
Oh God.
And of course it's in the world of Supernatural, it is caustic drain cleaner that he has been influenced to drink, and he starts bleeding profusely, and he's dead. Here,
Yeah.
since they couldn't get through the door, Bobby backs his Chevelle in through the doors of the bar, which is a direct homage to the film The Magnificent Seven, the original movie. Um, They're throwing holy water on the demons, so we do have someone get splashed with holy water we'll have to look for. Sam dives in the back seat. Dean is still fighting, but then he runs out of holy water. He's like, "Oh crap." Jensen and this actor choreographed this fight themselves. We have a demon stuck in a devil's trap because Dean tosses him into the trunk, slams the trunk. Bobby drives
Oh,
away. We've got a lot we need to talk about in this scene here.
oh,
Um, and I'm actually going to pause it there because we have bunches to talk about and
oh
to look
yeah.
for. So, okay, so we have splashed with holy water, demons stuck in a devil trap, and we have a damn it, which I did not call out, but it was there, I assure you. So we have damn it, splashed with holy water, and demons stuck in a devil trap. Let's see if we have any of those three.
I don't think I.
No,
I
this
don't
is
have one.
ridiculous. No, not a single
No,
one of them.
not a
Well,
single one. But you know what?
I'm going to
Yeah.
drown my sorrows here.
Yes.
Consolation prize. Hopefully, if you're playing along with us, you're having better luck. Okay, so two stories I want to tell you about the scene we just saw. Uh, Aside from the ones I've already told you. So Kim Manners, who directed this episode, kept shouting at Jared that he needed to get into the back seat faster. It's not that easy to cram 6'5", 200 plus pounds into the back seat of a Chevelle when someone is sitting in the front seat.
No.
So Jared was doing everything that he could to throw himself into this two-door Chevelle. But because the condition of the car, the rubber gasket around the outside was gone. It just wasn't there. So so Jared, trying to get himself into the car as quickly as possible, scalped himself and
Ow!
actually, like, cut a chunk of his hair out of his head, which the hair department was, like, fixing his hair and was like and, like, pulled out a big clump of his hair, which they saved, and it will make a reappearance in a future episode. Story number 2 is so Jim Beaver had to, in fact, drive the car because they needed to be able to see that it was him, not a stunt driver. So he was so fixated on hitting his mark and making sure that he drove this car correctly. He got a little over enthusiastic and he drove off and left Jensen standing in the middle of the set. So it looked like Bobby drove off and left Dean to face a horde of demons by himself. So they put a lot into that scene. They had to do a couple of takes. All right, hitting play. So cut back to this abandoned house that they're all squatting in. And Tamara is very excited to go back and she wants to go after her husband and they're saying to her he he's dead.
Yeah.
There is nothing to go back to. Um Dean, however, has got a death wish, so he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll go with you. Suicide mission? I'm in. Sign me up." We've got this great line from Sam, and he's like, "How are you gonna kill him? You can't shoot him, can't stab him." So last season, they could have shot them, but the as far as they know, the Colt is useless without the bullets, and they use the
Yeah.
last one. So the
Yeah.
Colt right now is a paperweight. And as far as they know, you can't stab them, but they're about to learn that that might not be exactly true. Bobby's like, "Oh, I know who we're up against. We're up against the 7 deadly sins," which of course Dean immediately goes, "What's in the box?" Which of course is a reference to the movie Seven. Many seasons from now, there will be an episode of Supernatural that is an homage to the movie Seven. So it's kind of fun to get this episode this early, making a reference to that film. Uh, so Bobby is explaining, like, okay, these are the 7 deadly sins that they have not been topside since the Dark Ages, and we don't know what we're up against. We have no weapons that we think can so much as ruffle these things' hair. Like we have not faced anything like this. We've got to take some time and figure out what our next move is. And then he realizes he's screaming at a grieving widow, and he kind of takes a deep breath and he's like, I am sorry for your loss, but
But
yeah,
oh,
now is not the time to make decisions based on grief.
but yeah.
Sam is giving Dean a stink eye, like, really? Suicide mission? Really? And then he just like walks up. Here they go to interrogate this demon that uh we saw in the cold open, and I am prepared to call this torture because he's tied to a chair and they're trying to get information from him, and Dean starts splashing him with holy water, which we know is extremely painful to demons. So I'm prepared to call this torture. I think this is a really great performance from this actor here, who has these lovely, beautiful blue eyes. And he is quoting the Bible right and left. He says, I am legion, for we are many. Um, and he's like, we just all got out of hell. This is party time. We are celebrating. Like, getting these people to hurt themselves is their definition of entertainment. Um, Again, I just think we have a fantastic performance from him. He says, I like to see people's insides on the outside. Um, and he can tell right away that Tamara is in pain. Again, he's got which one of you can cast the first stone, which is another reference to a story in the Bible. And he looks right at Dean and he says, "You are a walking billboard of gluttony and lust." And Dean just goes, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. He can't disagree.
no, yeah, you're right." Um, and he's just really like trying to push everyone's buttons, and it's making him happy as can be that he's succeeding. So it gets to a point where they're like, all right, we're not gonna get anything out of this guy. Let's send this demon back where he came from. And I don't know that they're, you know, and of course he says horny, looks right at Dean, and Dean goes, yeah. So,
Yeah. Greedy.
um,
Yeah.
that everything he's saying, Dean is just like, yeah, you've got my number. But they're like, okay, enough from this guy. Um, so they decide they are going to exorcise him. So we are going to have an exorcism in a moment. Um, and you, I love this little moment when Dean says, we're going to send you back to hell. And for the first time, this bravado really breaks in this demon, and you can see it in his face.
Yeah.
He's afraid. And it's something we've talked about before, that hell is a place so awful that even the demons don't want to be there. So Tamara gleefully exercises this demon. Um and Dean once again is starting to voice this plan, like, you guys run, I'll stay here and buy us some time. Um, they're like, we're outmanned, we're outgunned, we'll be dead by dawn. And he wants to buy them some time once again by sacrificing himself. So as much as Dean is kind of really leaning into this hedonism, he's also um sort of revving up his brand, and sort of hyper acting in character. They're like, "Hey, what about the dude?" Tamara succeeds in exercising the guy, and she's like, "Oh, he didn't make it." Like, totally deadpan. She could not care less. Walks out.
Yeah.
I think this is shot really attractively here too, where there's just this little moment of Sam and Dean loading their weapons. Sam is pouring
Oh,
holy water. Dean is, cleaning and loading the shotgun, and they just look at each other for this
but
long moment.
look at the
Uh,
difference though in their faces.
yes. Yeah,
Like,
like,
uh,
Sam is worried and Dean is resigned. Like, this is it. This is how we go out.
yeah,
Um, we've got a salt line.
yep,
We have an electronics flicker, but we already had one of those, so that square is taken. But the song playing on the radio is JB Burnett's "I Shall Not Be Moved." And we're gonna let this scene play out, and then we're gonna pause and take another look at our cards.
oh,
But here comes Isaac's body, and he has been possessed. And there's kind of a good makeup job here, I think,
oh
where
yeah,
he's got like, the blood and the
the burn
drain
mark.
cleaner. You know what? We've got a black screen here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause on that. Okay. Salt line, exorcism, torture.
I have torture.
Am I missing anything? No. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have
Mm.
3 because we didn't have to have them pour it. So, yeah, once again, I have none of those 3. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Yeah, no, there are a couple of squares I'm shocked haven't come up yet, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't have this one memorized quite as well as I'd like to. So for all I know, it's coming, but a couple of them I don't remember it. Like
I
I
don't
don't think
know,
it
but
is.
I'm pretty grouchy that we've had 6 and neither one of us have had any of the 6. I call bullshit.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, I had the torture.
You did. You did.
I had torture, but yeah, like I'm still waiting for a dude or I mean not that Sammy's gonna help me a heck of a lot, but it just I like it when he yells Sammy.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, no, there is no Sammy.
I didn't think so.
So, all right. Well, I did not catch initially that you had torture. So I am not gonna, since we finally have one, I am not gonna
Yeah.
let you drink alone.
Yeah, I mean for me it was and I'll admit it wasn't I would have liked to have seen a little bit more torture, but I argue with you on torture so often that I'm definitely not gonna argue with you on that one.
It is definitely not a protracted scene of torture. Um, but I'm calling it. It's,
Hey, I am not arguing with you. Trust me, I am not
I
arguing with
know,
you.
I know. Well, especially since you got square.
No, I didn't even know I
So,
had it then, but I just
yeah, yeah. So, all
not a
right.
problem.
Well, let's hit play here again. So here
Okay.
comes Isaac's body that has been animated by whatever demon has infested it.
Oh,
Um,
I feel so bad for
and
Tamara because
oh
this has
yeah,
to be torture for her.
uh,
Like it's
it, yeah, yeah. This is, I mean, this is what demons do.
dude,
Like demons cause pain and suffering, and they will do it in whatever means they can. You know, like they'll do it physically, they'll do it emotionally. Um, and of course, it knows all of Isaac's memories, so it's able to really we get their backstory of how it is that they got into hunting, that some kind of monster got into their house and killed their child. Um, and yeah, I think this is a great performance from both of these actors. She screams, "You son of a bitch!" So we'll check the cards for
yeah,
those in a moment. And she comes out and she stabs him in the chest with Palo Santo, which is holy wood. But this allows the demons to get in. So the I think this is interesting here. So this demon that comes for Bobby, this is Sloth.
love.
So he's sort of a slovenly looking guy with, you know, his shirt all kind of ripped. And Bobby says, "Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son," which is a reference to
Yeah,
Animal House. Lust comes after Dean.
which
And while Bobby is exercising Sloth, who's stuck in a devil's trap, Dean is up against Lust.
yeah,
And she's
what
putting the mojo on him. And you would think, okay, if there's anybody who's going to succumb to lust, it's going to be Dean. And she puts her hand on his shoulder, and you can see him kind of look at her, and his brow sort of furrows. And he kisses her, and then immediately we cut to Sam. We get a Shining reference. As so we have Pride. Um, this is Gluttony again, who made Isaac drink the um, Gatorade
yeah,
drain cleaner.
the
And then
drink.
behind them on the right is Greed. And so it's Sam against three demons who are not in the tiniest bit intimidated by his devil's trap. So he's like, "Oh crap, I am in trouble here." And we get this kind of interesting story from Pride, who's like, "You're the prodigy, you're the boy king, you're the one we're all supposed to follow in this coming war." Uh, but yeah, no, I'm Pride, and I am not going to bow to you,
Well, then I
especially
like the quote that he says, like, "Huh, doesn't live up to the hype."
no, not living up to the hype. Excuse me. Cut back to Dean. Dean is kissing this woman, and he gets her, and he tosses her into a tub of holy water. I love this kind of slow motion scene where he
Oh,
pulls her out so the actor can breathe, and then he shoves her back down. This is that same kind of from underneath shot that Kim Manners did in Dead in the Water. So I think that's kind of fun. Here comes Katie Cassidy's character into frame. She's got a knife. These are some great special effects. And so
yes.
she's saving Sam's ass here, and she's going right for the jugular, like, she's
Oh,
cutting their throats, and they do this kind of, like, flashy Bernie thing as she stabs them.
that
She
and then
gets, like,
that
all
last one's cool.
it's
I
very cool, you can see she stabs him up under the chin, and you can see the knife in his open mouth, it's pretty cool. They kind of smoke and burn out when she stabs them. And Sam says, "Who are you?" And she's like, "I'm the girl who just saved your ass." And she's like, "See you around, Sam." And
mm,
off she goes. He goes after her, and poof, she is gone. She has just
man.
disappeared in thin air. So interestingly enough, I'm going to pause it here while we look. Let's take a look at the for a son of a bitch. We did get also a Sam gets choked there.
Yeah, I feel like
I do have son of a bitch.
I
I
have
have son of
that,
a
and I
bitch.
have one of the boys gets choked.
That is fantastic for you because I just have the one. So I think we're
Now,
doing
if someone
well
would
checking.
just talk about porn, I'd have 5 in a row.
You are definitely doing better than I am. But you and I can talk about porn all you like, but unfortunately, Supernatural is letting us down.
Yeah, I know.
So, all right.
No, we need some Busty Asian Beauties right now.
Well, who doesn't? I do before we hit play, I want to do a little bit of a body count here because something is really odd to me about this. So, seven deadly sins, right?
Yes.
Envy got exorcised by Tamara, and the
Yes.
vessel Walter did not survive. Sloth is exorcised by Bobby.
Yep.
Um, Dean drowns Lust in the sink or in the tub with holy water. We're
Yep.
going to find out in a minute that Sloth and Lust, their vessels, both survive. Sam squares off against pride, gluttony, and greed, and all three of them are killed by this mysterious woman and her fancy schmancy knife.
Right.
Wrath is missing.
I was gonna say I'm only counting 6.
That is only 6. And we met Wrath back at the bar. He was the guy who was like, "I don't like hunters in my bar."
Oh,
And he was all kind of scary looking.
yeah.
Big final battle.
Where's
Where
Rat?
the fuck is Wrath? Like, s big miss. Big
Big
miss. And
miss.
it bothers me. Okay, so a couple things I want to mention before we hit play. One of them is so we don't know who this mystery character is, played by Katie Cassidy. We know, so A, she disappeared, so that's a clue. And B, we know that the demons recognize her because greed in this very kind of long, drawn out, you. So we know that they recognize her. The other thing that is interesting, and a bit of a spoiler alert, this is not the last time we're going to see this fancy schmancy knife of hers. So when you have an opportunity, try to get a good look at it. But it has a deer antler handle. And when the props department assembled it, they put it on upside down. So, because it was seen on camera upside down
They
the
can't fix
first
it.
time, they had to leave it. So for the rest of the series, anytime this knife makes an appearance, and it kind of comes in and out of the show, but anytime this knife makes an appearance, uh, the handle is on upside down. And it cost the actors who had to use it quite a bit of trouble over the seasons because, like, you would naturally grab it, but then the blade would be upside down. Um, okay, that's all I have to say about that. We've got a couple minutes left here, so we're hitting play. And so we have the three people that were killed in the fight. So we have greed, pride, and lust. And I'm sorry, not lust. I just got it
And
wrong. Greed, pride, and gluttony. We have burn a body because Tamara is off by herself, giving Isaac his hunter's funeral. They are pouring salt on the three who didn't make it, and then Bobby has exorcised the other two. So the pretty girl and the heavy guy who are possessed by lust and sloth. They made it. The other three didn't. So they're burying the three who didn't make it. Got this question from Sam. What kind of blade can kill a demon? Uh, he says, uh, as of yesterday, I would have said there was no such thing. Um, so once again, they're like, who was that masked chick? Um, and Sam's like, if we let out the seven deadly sins, what else did we leave out? So yeah, we've got
oh,
this great cinematic shot of the three of them standing over the graves. Dean strikes the matchbook and then stands there and looks at it for a second before tossing it in, as always. Um, Tamara heads off into the sunset. So what I think is interesting about this first episode of season three is there's a lot of hand wringing over, yeah, oh my goodness, the demon war just started. What kind of horrible evils have we allowed to escape from hell? We have essentially no weapons capable of fighting them. Okay, mystery chick with fancy knife, but other than that, we are way over our heads. And it ends with, Sam asking Bobby, we can win this war, right? And Bobby just stares back at him
you have to
and
catch
then leaves.
one next time. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it's a great performance from Jim Beaver. Like you could see Bobby is scared. And if there is anything in the hunter community that comes close to being a demon expert, it is Bobby. Bobby is out of his element. Um, So Sam is trying to convince Dean they should head off to Louisiana because he heard from Tamara about a voodoo priestess in Louisiana who might be able to get Dean out of his demon deal. Dean was like, no, I don't think so. Sam keeps pushing, and finally, Dean admits to him, okay, so part of this deal is if you or I do anything to try to get out of this deal, you go right back to being dead. So no, no, we're not going to do that. And Sam is like, I'm tired of being nice to you. No more. So he's been letting a lot of Dean's behavior slide and he's done. and Dean is done. And so I would call this a heartfelt bromance.
See, I
Uh,
debated on this one
okay.
because I would agree with it on Dean's part, but not on Sam's.
Hmm.
Because Sam is clearly irritated, like calling him a
He
hypocrite. And how could you do that when you were so angry at dad and all that? So it's in that very like second, it is for Dean, but it's definitely not mutual.
So I hear where you're coming from, and I see why you would say that. And I'm going to back this up just a tiny bit. Let me see if I can get where I want to be here. And the reason I would disagree with you that it's not mutual is yes, Sam is frustrated with Dean, and he has a reason to be because now Dean has done to him exactly what John did to Sam last
Right.
season. But take a look here at what Sam is saying, like, you go and do the same thing to me. And look at his face. Like he is
See,
distressed.
every time I look at Sam's face, I just see frustration.
You feel really strongly it's not. I I'll let you have this one. But it we don't have to agree on everything.
No, 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 and we're not going to. Believe me, we've proven that one, and that it'd be boring if we agreed on everything.
Good. So we
For
are saying no heartfelt bromance.
I would, and believe me, you know how much I love a good heartfelt bromance. But for me, this just it's too one sided. Like I just see
Okay.
nothing but frustration
I,
in Sam's face.
I respect your opinion. I don't have the same one, but I respect it. So we are going to say no on the heartfelt bromance. And again, we've got Dean saying, I'm tired. Like that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like I think ever ever since the beginning of season 2, when Dean was saved by somebody else dying, he's he's felt like he was on borrowed time. Like he should be dead already. Um
Yeah,
and he's
I don't disagree with
yeah.
you there. I don't
Yeah,
disagree
that
with you there at
he's
all.
tired. He's ready for it to be over. And it ends with the boys driving off into the sunset. And if we listen very carefully as they pull on to the blacktop, there is a baby's tire squeal. And that is our episode. So we are going to check our cards one last time for a baby's tire squeal
Ooh,
and
I do
a
have it.
burn a body. I let me see here. I did have a heartfelt bromance, but we've decided we're not going to do that. And so no, I have neither.
I have baby
So
tires. I have baby's tires squeal.
okay, good for you. I will join you, but I
Oh,
have nothing to show for it. So in this incredibly boozy episode, cheers.
all
I have a
right.
whopping 5.
I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and
So you did
with four in a
far
row.
better than I did, far better. And you said you had 4 in a row.
I have four in a row.
Okay, and I have I have 3 in a row, just barely, and and a total of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing you loved and one thing you hated.
One thing I loved is, and I can never remember the actor's performance, but God knows I know the character's name. I loved Bobby. I think,
Jim Beaver, he's so good. I love Jim Beaver.
I mean, like, I love the monologue as much as it might not be the most sensitive one, but I love the monologue he gives to Tamara, and it just sent it over the edge for me. Like, as
Yeah.
far as my favorite moment in the show, I loved that moment.
He does deliver a hell of a performance, always, but especially here, yeah, and I think, uh, again, and I pointed it out already, but again, that kind of, like, distressed, long stare he gives to Sam in answer to the question, "We could win this war, right, Bobby?" And he just doesn't have the heart to tell Sam he's not sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. He delivers a hell of a performance in this episode. Okay, and something you hated.
I didn't realize it till you said it. Again, you what often you will change some mind, because I'll admit this is such a good episode that
That's interesting. I don't love this one.
oh,
Say more.
the I struggled to find something I didn't like,
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
and your one comment of the huge miss
Yeah.
that the seventh deadly sin isn't there.
And the one who would be the most
Most.
likely to be there.
Yeah. And as soon as you said that, I was like, son of a bitch, you're right. But yeah, because originally I was going to say, because you know how much this annoys me. I've said it,
Mhm.
God knows how many times. I hate it when in that initial scene, in the initial scene, when it's the stereotypical horror movie setup with the trash
Mhm.
barrels and all that, and the moron going right toward the thing of
Right.
don't go into the garage for the
Yeah.
like the stairs. I'm like, come on, like to me, it's like I mean I know they have to get the demon in it, but it's like come on, you can find a better way to do it than the cheesy horror movie stereotype. So
Mm.
that was my initial, but knowing
Okay.
the but that was a far but that's a bigger mess. But
Yeah, it is a big miss, and I know that we've talked about this before, and I understand where you're coming from. I think for people who are fans of the genre, of the horror genre, just as for people who are fans of rom-coms, like rom-coms have a formula. And for me not being a fan of rom-coms, I find that formula to be very dreary,
yeah,
and I get frustrated with it very quickly. Car chase movies have a formula. I love the formula of a car chase movie, whereas somebody else is going to find that dreary. So, for people who are fans of the horror genre, that formula is comforting. It's what you expect to see from a horror show. And if it's missing, you feel let down. So again, I understand where you're coming from because we've talked about this before. You are not
yeah,
a horror movie fan, but that's Eric Krip. So Eric Kripke wrote this episode, and he is a big horror movie fan. So he does tend to lean into that formula because it's what
yeah.
he set out to do. Um, so for me, I did not love this one. I felt like it was, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it in a couple of episodes. I felt I felt like it was a little bit of a weak start, especially considering season 2 was so good. Like, season 1 was excellent, and then season 2 just raised the bar. And then we've got this kinda I don't know, it's a little there's just something about it that doesn't quite come together. And so I think part of it is so for me, the thing that I loved, I think the visual effects in this episode were spectacular. Like I mean, think about you've got the again, keeping in mind the time that this was made and the state of visual effects technology at the time. Um, that it was like the big demon cloud was a pretty decent effect for the time. The special effects when the mystery chick is cutting people's throats are excellent.
Yes.
There's a lot going on with them getting splashed with holy water and the demon smoke and so I felt to a certain extent like they leaned so heavily into the visual effects, they didn't and Kim Manners shot it beautifully, but the script itself I thought was not where you would expect it to be after seeing seasons 1 and 2. So, I didn't hate it. The thing that I really don't love about this episode, and I pointed it out at the very beginning, is it's such a drastic look change from season 2. Like season 2 still had that really beautiful, desaturated, kind of creepy look. And right from the first shot of season 3, it looks like every other show that was on the CW at the time. It's very sort of hyper colored and colorized. And I it's just it's too bright and it's too weird. It's too drastic of a change from season 2. Having nothing to do with any of that, and Lynn, I know you and I talked about this a little bit off camera. Something that I found really amusing is, um, so we've both been watching Jensen's new show, Countdown, which if you haven't seen Countdown already, make
Oh,
some time.
so good.
It's a lot of fun. It
So good.
is there's some great performances in that. Make some time for it. But Jensen is nearing 50 at this point. He's in his late 40s, and it was so strange to go back to season 3 of Supernatural and like he looks like such a baby compared to like, I just saw him on my TV yesterday with crow's feet and a beard, and man, does he wear that well. But
Yes, he does.
but then, like, all of a sudden, he's back in his 20s, and it was I'm like, "Holy shit, he looks young."
Well, I gotta say, I mean, even I'm now partway through 11,
Yeah,
and even now that I'm watching Countdown, I now go back to like going back from Countdown to 11.
he still
Holy,
looks young.
he's still really young at 11. Then I go to 3. Holy fuck.
Oh my goodness, you wanna take a little napkin and wipe his little chin, you know?
It's like, damn, I'm like going into shock.
I know,
Then,
it is a
like,
little
even his
jarring.
voice is different.
Yes. No, it sounds like he's been sucking on a helium balloon when you go back.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, this is jarring.
Well, on that note, last call.
Last call.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for coming along with us for the ride. If you like what we're doing here, please be sure to tell your friends. Please also like our videos and subscribe so it is easier for other people to find us too.
And if you want to see us make some bonus content, please send us an email, drop a comment on any of the socials
Mm.
about topics that you want us to talk about, because trust me, we stick when we put those topics into Ask Jared, and you see us just completely off topic on a couple of cocktails, God knows what's going to come out of our mouth.
Anything can happen and usually does. So that email address is hunterfuelpodcast@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hunter Fuel Podcast. In our next episode, we'll be discussing season 3, episode 2. I didn't put the name of the episode in my notes. It's I think it's called The Kids Are All Right. But what I do have is that Dean visits his old yoga instructor. Until then, be safe, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.